Peace, family. It's none other than your boy, Jay Giddens, the father. As usual, remember to be positive, optimistic, keep positive people in your circle, as those three things are key to ensuring positivity is invited into your future. Now, if you are from the hood, the ghetto, the slums, the projects, urban environments, if you consider yourself to be a gangster, a hustler, a nigga, a street nigga, a bitch, a hoe, whatever it is, if you consider yourself to be any one of those things, I want you to watch this video, okay? And I'm going to be asking people to send it to people who consider themselves those things to watch this video, because to be honest with you, a lot of the people who are victim of the things I'm about to go over are in those predicaments, right? And I actually meant to title this video. Y'all. So first off, I have to offer my apologies for the fact that I didn't. So what I'm gonna do is, just so everybody can see, I'm gonna type in the title of this lecture in the pinned comment. All right. So this lecture today is going to be about human settlements, right? Human settlements. It's very basic, but something that's very deep, and I want to talk to y'all about it, and I want to give my perspective, and I want to hear everybody's perspective. So if you are one of the things that I listed before, you consider yourself from the streets, the hood, the ghetto, you from, those urban environments that we know of, I want to know your perspective on this lecture. It's going to be, I'm going to try to make it as quickly as possible, because I know it's tough to get through this stuff, but trust me in my soul when I tell y'all this is a little bit more important than like whatever else you probably grade go do. Just going to keep it 100. And if it's not, then like come back and find another time to come back to the video, you know what I'm saying, and check it out if you can. All right. So we're going to talk about human settlements, right? Let's get right into it. All right. So what are human settlements, right? Let me show y'all. Peace reflection. Let me turn my camera around right quick. All right. Now, human settlements, right? We're going to talk about human settlements. So a human settlement, right? In geography, and like I always tell y'all, whenever we doing these lectures, we want to make sure that we click on these links so we know what they talking about, right? So in geography, and that's just what? The study of lands, right? So in the study of land, statistics, we know what statistics are, right? Those are just numbers they use to, get different perspectives on what's going on. Let's see what they call it. Hold on. The discipline that concerns the collection, organization, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of data. Basically, collection of data. Skip all this. You know how they like to make everything convoluted, right? So then archaeology, right? And I want to go over this because this is important, because what often happens is these words, they make them convoluted and long, but they basically mean, like, look at this. Archaeology, the study of human activity through the recovery and analysis of material culture, right? That sounds like some bandit type shit. That sounds like some pirate type shit. The study of human activity through the recovery and analysis of material culture. That means they taking shit when they get there and they looking it up. You know what I'm saying? But let's just go into it, alright? So anyway, in geography, statistics, and archaeology, a settlement, locality, or populated place is a community, right? Let's see what community says. Alright, and it's a reason I'm doing this, y'all. Bear with me, alright? I just want y'all to listen. First of all, listen. I know it's probably like, he going through this, you going through that, blah, blah, blah. Listen to me. This is important. Like, I'm going through these because we all grew up in these scenarios, in these hoods, in these places, and I want y'all to see something. I'm showing you something. You know what I'm saying? So follow me real quick. A community, right, is a social unit with commonalities such as norms, religion, values, customs, blah, 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 right? That's a community, alright? So a settlement, basically, in geography, archaeology, a place, a community in which people live, right? The complexity of a settlement can range from a small number of dwellings grouped together to the largest of cities with surrounding urbanized areas, right? So when they say urbanized areas, what are they talking about? Let's highlight this real quick. Urbanized areas. An urban area is a human settlement with a high population density and infrastructure of built environment. Y'all see that? An urban area is a human settlement with a high population density and infrastructure of built environment. A built environment. That matters. You got to pay attention to that, right? So let's click on that real quick. Let me see what they say when you click on that. Built environment. In urban planning, architecture, and civil engineering, the term built environment or built world refers to the human-made environment that provides the setting for human activity. You know how much that means, y'all, reflections? You know what that means? Listen to this. In urban planning, architecture, and civil engineering, the term built environment or built world refers to the human-made environment that provides the setting for human activity, right? And they talking about urban areas. They're talking about urbanization, right? Let's go back. So basically what that means is a human settlement is a built environment that they've created for humans, right? In order for them to gather statistics, right? Collection of data. So a human settlement is a built environment that's created to gather statistics and to what? Study human activity through the recovery and analysis of material culture, right? They add more. They telling you the archaeological record consists of artifacts, architecture, biofacts. And biofacts means bodies, like mummies and, taking dead bodies out the ground, all that kind of stuff. Ecofacts is like taking things out. It's the same thing as taking mummies out, but it's not biological. It's just stuff. So they're taking stones out the ground. They're taking material. They're taking all that kind of stuff, right? Architecture, studying the structure and everything. This sounds like something you do when you invade somebody. But it sounds real sweet when you use that word archaeology, right? But this sounds like some that somebody who up to no good does. But anyway, let's move forward. Alright, so settlements, and peace and love to everybody who's in here and anybody who's watching this right now. I want to say one love to y'all. I'm doing this for a reason, bro, because we have to understand where we live at. We have to understand our surroundings and how this is like this. I'm gonna go through some stuff. Settlements may include hamlets, villages, towns, and cities. And all these is one smaller than the other. So a hamlet gonna say is smaller than a village. What? A small human settlement in a different jurisdiction, blah, blah, blah. Hamlet may be the size of a town or village, right? Then a village gonna say it's bigger than a hamlet, but smaller than a town, right? Clustered human settlement or community larger than a hamlet, but smaller, right? You know what I'm saying? So these are just all levels of the size of human settlements, right? Hamlets, villages, towns, cities, right? Cities, I believe they say, is the largest one. What do they say? A city is a large human settlement. It can be defined as a permanent and densely settled place with administratively defined boundaries. Now, let me show y'all this. So let's go into this real quick, right? So boundaries. You know what? They don't show it right here. They don't let you click on it right here. But somewhere down the line, we're going to click on boundaries, and I'm going to show y'all a little bit more as to what they mean by that. Which is crazy. Alright, but anyway, a settlement may have known historical properties, such as the date or era in which it was first settled, or first settled by particular people. So, what this is telling you is that a settlement may have had people there already, right? Historical properties, such as first settled by particular people. So they basically telling you that human settlements are places where there were people there already. What do you think happened to those people? So if you live in a city, or you live in a town, or you live in a village, there were probably settled particular people there who settled there first. How can you discover something that people were there already? But let's move forward. Alright? Let's move forward. There's a purpose for me saying everything that I'm saying. For somebody just asked to come on, I don't really want to invite people on when I'm doing a lecture reflection. It ain't really that I don't want, you know what I'm saying? Like, just give me a second, because I don't want to just interrupt, you know what I'm saying? It's a reason that I'm doing this. But one love reflection, if I'm ever live, I have no problem with inviting somebody on, but this is just not me just going live. This is me trying, I'm trying to give a message real quick. But look, in the field of, this is where you get into them making stuff convoluted and hard for you to understand, right? What this say? In the field of geospatial predictive modeling, right? So of course you would say, what the fuck is that? What does that mean? In short, what that mean is basically they have to figure out the landscape of the land that they're about to put the human settlement on to predict what's going to happen, right? So if it's a land, I'll read what their convoluted definition is, but I'm just summarizing it for you. So like if they take over a land, they kill everybody and say like it's a mountain next to it, and that mountain sometimes has debris that falls off it or something. This is where they would, this is the predictive model. This is how they determine how they're going to put it and how they're going to set up the model. They might put it at a, like for instance in California, California has a lot of earthquakes and things like that. So their predictive modeling would be how they choose to set up the human settlement due to that. But let's see what they say this is, right? So I'm going to click on it so we can see the whole thing. Geospatial predictive modeling is conceptually rooted in the principle that the occurrences of events being modeled are limited in distribution. Occurrences of events are neither uniform nor random in distribution. There are spatial environment factors, infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I'm not going to read all of that, but listen, trust me when I tell you. That's what they saying. They just basically saying they have to take into account what the environment is, how much space it is, and all that kind of stuff before they set up this human settlement for humans to live on, for them to get statistics and, archaeological information on them, right? In these urbanized areas, right? You gotta look at the keys. Like, forget all these other stuff that's meant to be convoluted. But let's move forward because I want to get to some stuff. It's not going to be long either, y'all. Like, not that long anyways. I just want to, anyway, all right. So, in the field of geospatial predictive modeling, settlements are a city, town, village, or other agglomerations, right? Now, agglomeration just means many. It just means like many. Hold on. Let me. Give me 2 seconds real quick, y'all. Hold up. Because let me see. Let me not put my goddess email out there like that. I just want, cause it's good. You never want to just pass these things, but I think it means many or something. See, yeah, a mass. See, agglomeration, a mass or collection of things. You know what I'm saying? What is this for? What is this big ass word for? Like just to intimidate you. So you like agglomeration. Oh no. So human settlements are preparing for natural disasters in certain places. I think that's going a little bit into what the intent of a human settlement is. I more so just want to, describe what it is, and you can kind of play around with what you think the intent is yourself, but I want to make sure you understand what it is. But I think that it would be, to be honest with you, but moving forward, right? Other agglomerations of buildings where people live and work, right? So a settlement conventionally includes its constructed facilities such as roads. We know what roads are, so I won't go into that. Now, this is what I want y'all to see. This word right here. Now, this is where I want y'all to see that they have a knack for taking a word and making it mean some diabolical evil shit. But it's just a word, so you don't know, right? So look, enclosures, right? Highlight enclosures. What that say? Let's go into it real quick, actually. Enclosure. Enclosure is a term used in English land ownership that refers to the appropriation of waste or common land, enclosing it, and by doing so, depriving commoners of their ancient rights of access and privilege. Now, when you see enclosure, you just think, oh, a box. You just think, oh, something closed in, right? But this is how they get diabolical with this. If you was in school, they just would have told you, oh, it's an enclosure, whatever. But look at what an enclosure is as used in English land ownership. It refers to the appropriation of waste or common land, right? So that means their appropriation means to segregate and give out, right? It means to divide up, right? So they're saying it refers to dividing up common land, enclosing it, and by doing so, depriving commoners of their ancient rights and access to privilege. This is what they do when they create human settlements. And what's a human settlement? A city, a town, a village, a hamlet. So if you live in an urban area, if you live in any of those, you are being deprived of your rights and access. Okay, just trust and believe that. That's what this is. Now let's go deeper because there's something else I want to show you. Agreements to enclose land could be, right? Agreements to enclose land could be either through a formal or informal process. You know what that means? That means we could do this shit the easy way, or we could do this shit the hard way. That means you either give us your shit or we take your shit. Reflections. Does this not come off as diabolical to y'all? Diabolical, you hear me? Like, and they just put it in a word, but look, let's move forward. So look, right? Alright. The process could normally be accomplished in 3 ways. Listen, I'm not reading all of this. Y'all know what that is. You know what's up. I just showed you that. If you want to see it, go look a little bit deeper. But anyway, let's go back to where we was with the human settlement, right? So look, a settlement conventionally includes its constructed facilities such as roads, enclosures, which we know mean what? Shutting your ass off from what you indigenously had access to and taking your rights. Now here's the next one I want to show you. Field systems. Now y'all notice, I'm gonna go into these so you can see how diabolical this shit is. But when you just look at it, it's just a sentence, right? A settlement conventionally includes the constructed facilities such as roads, enclosures, field systems, right? But look at this shit. Let me show you what this means. Field systems, right? Let's go into field systems. Let's see what that is. What they talking about? The study of field systems, collection of fields, is concerned with size, shape, and orientation of the number of fields. Now we don't even need to read no more. This is what the field system is. Now you see how slick they got? When you click on that, it's supposed to tell you what the definition is. They ain't even really tell you what the definition is. They just went into the study of field system. But what a field system is the collection of fields. Can we let that marinate for a minute? Peace, reflections. One love to everybody who watching and checking this out right now. The collection of fields. Now, some people collect stones. You know what I'm saying? Some people collect Pokemon cards. You know what I'm saying? What kind of people collect fields, bro? Let's move on. And then they say landscape history, which is just, what they want to say that is. Hold on. Landscape history. The study, it's always the study of something, right? The study of the way in which humanity has changed the physical appearance of the environment, both present and past. It is sometimes referred to as landscape archaeology. And we already know what this word means, right? We already know what archaeology means. So let's just, you know what I'm saying? And in case we need to go back to it, you know, it means the study of human activity through recovery and analysis of material culture. Now, let me make a quick statement real quick. Because I was watching something, and shout out to my reflection, I am NDB Timmy, if he do manage to see this. He gave me this pyrite, and I just want to say one love to him for giving me this pyrite, which I put next to my citrine. These are both for abundance, right? But look, I was watching earlier, they chopping down the Amazon forest. You can look at it, they cutting down the Amazon forest, they finding stuff in there, right? And I heard them say, oh, the Amazon forest, we're finding pyramids and we're finding cities underneath the trees and so much stuff that we didn't know about. We're gonna send a team of archaeologists out there. Now, what are these archaeologists gonna do when they get there, huh? What you think these archaeologists are gonna do? They're gonna study human activity through recovery of analysis and material culture, right? Now, how do you recover something that ain't yours? Last time I thought recovery mean you getting back something that you lost or something, right? So you're gonna recover shit that wasn't yours. That sound more like steal or pirate, right? And then they say analysis, right? Which is, you know, the study of the contents of something. Analysis of material culture. Now, what they mean by material culture? They mean all of the precious materials they can find. If it's anything there, gold, copper, silver, nigga, whatever's there, they mean they taking that. That's what this means, right? That's essentially what, they real slick with the words, reflection. They real slick with the words. So let's move forward. This stuff just, it sit with your soul, man. When you read it and you see how they do this stuff, they just make it out like it's just regular words, but this is what they doing. So this is why I said all of my people who are in the hoods, the ghettos, the urban areas, you grew up in the slums, I want you to know that where you grew up, okay, is set up that way for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? These urbanized areas are set up this way. And I just explained to you what they're doing there. But anyway, let's move to the next thing. You see how I can't even read this sentence without us feeling like we watching a goddamn horror movie. You know what I'm saying? What about this don't seem like it's a horror movie? Let's go to the next thing. Boundaries. Let's see what they talking about when they say boundaries, right? What's a boundary? Let's go into it. What's a boundary? Boundaries, particularly field boundaries, are among the oldest features in an English rural landscape. Although a boundary itself is an abstract concept, you think, the boundary can often be seen by differences in land use on either side, right? Now, let's go down a little bit further, because I believe there's something specific in here that I wanted to show y'all when I was going over this. Hold on. Boundaries, a real or imagined line that marks the limit of something. Many field boundaries in the central region of England originated with the enclosure. Y'all remember enclosure? We went over enclosure, right? So we don't, of previous open fields, right? The enclosure. So what they're doing is they're telling you that in order to set boundaries, the English originated this by enclosing, right? Which means taking the indigenous people away from previous open fields. Right? So we don't got to go no deeper into that. I just wanted to show you what they mean by when they say boundaries, right? So when they say a settlement conventionally includes, and we know a settlement is a city, town, all of that, right? Human settlement. It's villages, towns, cities, all of that. So if you live in Baltimore, nigga, you live in Atlanta, you live in San Francisco, I don't care where you live. You live in Houston, nigga, wherever you live at, this is what was prepared for you. This is what was prepared for you. Because remember, it's land that was first settled by a particular people, which means they killed all the people that was there. Anyway, my bad. Let's go back to it. Then they say ditches, right? What's a ditch? I ain't gonna go all the way into this one because I think we all know ditches, right? But let's just quickly see what they say. Ditches is a small to moderate divot created to channel water. A ditch can be used for drainage, to drain water from low-lying areas alongside roadways or fields, or to channel water from a more distant source, right? For plant irrigation. So they're making it out like basically this is all for agriculture, right? But we all know that the term, you know what I'm saying, don't get left in a ditch, you know, putting you in a ditch, stuff that they did to, you know what I mean, us doing segregation and all of that, put in a ditch. It's a whole lot more to these ditches than here, but I ain't gonna go into that. That's cool. I guess this is one word that's not so diabolical, you feel me, as the other ones. But let's go into ponds. Ponds are just small lakes. Just close the door behind you if you want to go out. It's okay, guys. Alright. Pond is just a small lake. A pond is an area filled with water. You know what I'm saying? They just basically telling you it's a small lake. And then parks. Let's see what parks are. A park is an area of natural, semi-natural, or planted space set aside for human enjoyment. What the fuck? Y'all see that shit? And you know what's crazy? I didn't even read this the first time I went through it. If y'all seen the movie Home, I don't know if y'all got kids and you seen the movie Home, right? The aliens came to the planet and they took all of the humans and they abducted them and they moved them to the other side of the planet and they put them in this place called Happy Human Town, right? It was for human enjoyment in the movie Home. It's a Disney movie, right? What does this sound like? An area of natural, this should sound like a zoo. Don't it sound like this right here should just say zoo for humans? Like, how does any of this that we read and sound different than what they do in a zoo? But I just want to look at it one more time to get a good look at it because I ain't look at this the first time. A park is an area of natural, semi-natural, or planted space set aside for human enjoyment and recreation or the protection of wildlife or natural habitats, right? Urban parks are green spaces set aside for recreational or recreation inside towns and cities, right? Whatever. Let's go past that. You can see the, if you pay attention, you can see how you can see the diabolicalness in all of this, right? Woods, let's see what they say woods is. Woods is a porous and fibrous structural tissue found in the stems and roots of trees and other woody plants. It is an organic material, a natural composite of cellulose fibers that are strong in tension and embedded in a matrix. Look at that, in a matrix of lining that resists compression wood. So they actually not describing what they make you think they describing when you click on that. Cause they said parks and woods. We not asking you to describe to us the actual material wood, nigga. We know what wood is. We asking you to describe what you mean by woods when you say that. But they real slick. Anyway, wind. Let's see what wind is. A windmill. I didn't ask you that. I said wind, but okay, a windmill is a structure. Okay. Oh, okay. My apologies, y'all. Wind and water mills. That's why they did that. Wind and water. Okay. Manor houses, right? Let's see what they mean by manor houses. And I believe this just means like the mayor or whatever. A manor house was historically the main residence of the lord of the manor. So yeah, it's just kind of like whoever is the head of the city, probably like city hall or whatever. That's what they mean by that. Moats. What is moats? I ain't looking to that. A moat is a deep, broad ditch, either dry or filled with water. So, And these are all, when you think about it, these are all probably used to cover up the, the indigenous ones that were there, the first settled people. These are probably all used to cover that up. But let's see the last one, and then you got churches, right? Now, why would churches, y'all see this? Why would churches be necessary for human settlement? Why is that? Why is it that in order for a human settlement, which is supposedly a community in which people live, why does it require churches? We don't have to look no deeper than that. I think everybody in this live for the most part know. Yeah, Mortal Jizzle said that's where they threw out dead bodies. Peace reflection, you already know. I'm trying to think if it's something else I wanted to show y'all here, right? So let me see. I know it was something down here I wanted to show, right? Was it boundary? Hold on. Let me go to something real quick, y'all. Bear with me for a second. Boundary, and then boundary, and was it the Norman Conquest? Hold on. Was it a virgin occupation of army? No, that's not it. That's not what I wanted to show you. It was something specific, to be honest, that I wanted to show y'all. But I think it's escaping me, and that's my apologies. So as I look through this, I'm gonna turn the camera around for a quick second, just to let y'all know the reason that I felt this was important is because when you in the hood, a lot of times you got people that's like, nigga, this my block, this my this my that, yeah, this my, you know what I'm saying, and like, oh, now I know what I wanted to show y'all. I'm gonna tap in on that on 2 seconds. Bear with me, I see it. But look. In the hood, we like, nigga, this is my block. We fighting the person up the block and all of that. Now, we want to stop that from happening, right? We want the people in the hood to come together and stop doing that. But in order to do that, that would be what you call a wise decision, right? In order to make a wise decision, it requires knowledge. Now, of course, they know that something up with the hood. You know what I mean? Everybody in the hood know they don't love us. They say it in songs and all that, they don't love us. But you don't understand the mechanics behind this. You don't understand how this works and like how they all set up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's important to know this. Now, one thing I wanted to show y'all, one important piece to the puzzle is that you want to understand that the United States is not a country, right? And by the way, country, just to say this real quick before I go into the fact that the United States is not a country. It is it's a country, but it's not what you think a country is, what they taught you it was, with that whole, having country pride and all that, what they call it, patriotism and all that shit. That's not what a country is, right? You know how you have weaponry, you have, masonry, right, which is the study of mason, like, building, then you have weaponry, which is like the study of weapons, you know what I'm saying? You have country, country, right? Which is the study of counting. It's the act of counting. So a country is just a way to count people. That's the only purpose of a country, to keep track of these people. And see, the reason you got to think about this is because this is the shit people who don't care about money do. If you ever thought to yourself, what would people do? People who wipe their ass with $1 million. This is what they do. This is what they do. This is what they think about. how to build human settlements for you. This is what you got to think about when you wake up and you take a shit with $1,000,000. How to control an entire world and build settlements for humans to settle on, right? So you got to know this. Now, let me get to where I was talking about. Look, here's proof for you that the U.S. is not a country. Look at this. It says the small town. Hold on. Who was a Jizzle? Peace to you, reflection. Give me a second. I'm not gonna put nobody on right now just because I came on for the purpose of the lecture just to get this out. But you know, of course, it's always one love, reflection. I don't mind bringing nobody on, but just for now, I'm gonna just kick this out because I don't want to get nothing. You know what I mean? Now, the small town of Flora, Oregon, in the United States is unincorporated, but it's considered a populated place, right? So forget all of this. Forget all of this. Just read this. Unincorporated. Now, what does incorporated mean? It means it's a part of the business, right? USA Inc. is a business. You can look that up. The United States is a business. And the reason it's important to understand that the United States is a business is so you can understand why they have certain motives. Some people don't understand, well, why would they not poisoning our food. Why would they do that? The number one rule of any business is to maximize profit. If you don't maximize profit, you could lose your job. I don't care who you are. You could be the CEO of any company. They will let your ass go if one year the company grosses 12 million and then the next year they gross 9 million and then the next year they gross 8 million. They're going to look at you like, you need to be maximizing profit. We don't care if you got to lay off a whole city worth of employees. We don't care what you got to do. Maximize profit. We don't give a shit about these employees. That's the way corporations work. The United States is no different. So if they need money, you could literally get millions of dollars by making people sick because it's going to raise up the prescriptions in that area. So when you're looking at the United States as a country, right? I mean, as a company, right? And you have all of these states. Let's say you got 30 states or 25 states on the East Coast, right? And you trying to make an extra 4 billion, right? And you know that if you put a disease into these 4 states, it's these amount of people. Because what have you done? Hold on. What have you done, right? You have studied, right? You have studied the human activity in that area, right? And you have statistics. What is statistics? The collection of data. And let's go further. In applying statistics to a scientific, industrial, or social problem. So what this means is that the purpose of a human settlement is so that they can gather information on the people who stay in them so that they can make decisions, right? So at the end of the day, you want to know, listen, to Big Heart 999, peace and love, reflection. I'm not bringing nobody on to this one just because I'm doing the lecture. I'm doing it as more so a lecture and I don't want to lose track of what I'm about to be done in a little bit. So, you know, I never have a problem with nobody coming on to the live. So I don't want nobody ever to think that if you ever see me live, hop on. But when I'm doing in a lecture format, I just want to make sure I don't get, sidetracked or anything like that. But the reason I felt it was important to make sure that everybody, understand this about these human settlements is you can see the motives. And you can see what the intention behind these are. So if you live in a city, you're not there because they just want you to be, fruitful and they cared about you. You know what I'm saying? You're there because they're studying you. That's what you're there for. This is what billionaires do when they have shit else to do. You know what I'm saying? They study humans. And they study human behavior. And I feel like there was something else I wanted to show you. I'm just trying to get into. Or I'm trying to make sure that I covered everything that I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? Because let me look at this, right? Because the more you read, the more it exposes to you. You say you just want to verify this is me. No. Oh, already. One love to you, Big Heart. And shout out to Big Heart, man. He does a wonderful job at getting on here and making sure that we stay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to save the live reflection. So look, let's go into this right here real quick, y'all. It says, settlements can be ordered by size, centrality, or other factors to define a settlement hierarchy, right? Now, you already know when they say one of these words like this, It's some diabolical shit. It ain't gonna seem like it, but let's go into it and let's see with our third eye what they talking about. Settlement hierarchy, right? A settlement hierarchy is a way of arranging settlements into a hierarchy based on their population or some other criteria. The term is used by landscape historians, right? Now, what are landscape historians? They probably just people who study the history of different lands and how it affected people when they were there. But let's see. Landscape history is the study of the way in which humanity has changed the physical appearance of the environment, right? So what that means is these landscape historians, listen, you got to really see the diabolicalness of this. Look at what they're saying. They study the way in which humanity has changed the physical appearance of the environment. That means the people, the humanity that were there have to be gone for them to do that. They do this after they wipe out who's there. You got to understand what happens. So for instance, I live in Baltimore City, right? This wasn't Baltimore before they named it after Lord Baltimore, who was one of the leaders over in the UK, right? A part of the war when they killed everybody. The landscape historians who studied the way our indigenous people who were here affected this environment did that after they wiped us out. So this in itself lets you know what happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can look into it more to look into Punic Wars and everything and see how they did it. But this, you can see this stuff, right? Let's see. But my bad, y'all. Let's go forward though, right? It's just like when you click on these links, bro, like it's like infinite access to shit. Like, I'm surprised they even got this up. I'm surprised they even got this. Wikipedia is, bruh, like, we all need to be tapped into this. And then you can go to resources and see where they came from, which I would recommend people do. For the people who say, why are you using Wikipedia? You can't use Wikipedia. Anybody can do that. You can see all of the sources. You can see all of the books, the authors, the people, the reporters, all of the people who came up with this information and where they got it from. I would recommend that you double check that if you're in a situation where you second guessing your information, right? But in the national curriculum, see, I didn't even look at this. What is the national curriculum? Let me guess. It's a database full of, all right, look. National curriculum is a common program of study in schools that is designed to ensure nationwide uniformity. Bruh. Where's the evil laugh when you need it? Where's the evil laugh? Where's the evil laugh when you need it? You hear that shit? This sound like some pirate and evil diabolical shit. A common program of study in schools that is designed to ensure nationwide uniformity of content and standards in education, right? It is usually legislated by the national government, possibly in consultation with state or other regional authorities. That shit crazy. Anyway, and it say for England, mind you. Hold on. You see how they tell on themselves? Look at this. The national curriculum for England. Now look at that description that I just gave you, that you just read, and put for England behind it. So who's behind this? National government, consultation with states. But who's behind this? Of course they tell you not to use Wikipedia. They would tell you stay away from Wikipedia because everything on this motherfucker. You hear me? Seriously. I know. Anyway, the term is also used in the planning system for the UK. Oh my God. They just connected the dot. Oh my God. I didn't even realize they did that. Look at this. They said, Jay Giddens, you think you know. Let me really tell you. Let's click on this real quick. Let me see what they about to say. Hold up. Planning system for the... Okay. All right. Town and country planning in the United Kingdom is part of English and land law, which concerns land use planning. Its goal is to ensure sustainable economic development. Now, if you look on the UK's website, this is what they talking about. If you look on the UN's website, if you go to un.org and you look at what they talking about the new agenda, it's sustainable economies. That's what they talk about. But anyway, planning, its goal is to ensure sustainable economic development in a better environment. Each country of the United Kingdom has its own planning system that is responsible for town, and I'm not gonna go into that. Y'all see they can't even hide how diabolical it is. And for some other countries such as Ireland, India, Switzerland, the term was used without comment by the geographer Brian Roberts, blase blase in 1972, right? So for those people who are in here right now who may not have caught the beginning, watch this back if you get a chance. And one love to everybody who's in here who may have made it through the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Who may have been watching since the beginning, I should say, because I'm not quite finished. But I just want to take a second just to like tap in with y'all directly and just let y'all know, like, when I was reading over this, you know what I'm saying? I read this and my soul cried. Like sometimes I see this and I cry, man. And I'm like, I can't let people not know about this. Like, because we all hear, see this stuff that I'm going over, it's one thing to like hear it in passing or like be like, yeah, yo, oh yeah, they plan the whole city out. Ha, ha, ha. We all know what redlining is. We all know that they keep the hood from the suburbs and the urban area and all of that. We know that, but it's different when you see like, what's a city, right? So like, it's different. It's different when you go to already reflection. It's different when you go to city, right? And you like, all right, I live in Baltimore, right? So I live in a city, right? Let's go to what a city is. And you see a city is a large human settlement. They tell you right off the bat, the city is just a large human settlement. And we know what the human settlements are. They have boundaries which restrict the indigenous people who were there from accessing things. We went over that, right? It can be defined as permanent and density settled place with administratively defined boundaries whose members work primarily on non-agricultural tasks. You see that shit? Non-agricultural. That means they put all of the people in the city to make sure that they're not doing shit agricultural, like growing shit, like doing things that you can do to sustain life without them. See, you see how it all come together, and you see how diabolical the whole shit is. You're not put in a city because they care about you and they want to make sure your city is, you put there so they can make sure that you're dependent on them. Cities generally have extensive systems for housing, transportation, sanitation, utilities, land use, production of goods, and communication, right? Now, I bet you these just look like words, right? Take you away from nature, somebody said, exactly. These just look like words, but I bet you if we go into these links, we're going to be fucking horrified, right? Let me just try one. Let's see what housing is. Shit is hilarious. Housing. Living spaces, or more generically living spaces, refers to the construction and assigned usage. You see this shit? When you see housing, you like, oh yo, let me take it out real quick. When you see housing, you like, oh yo, housing, we all know what housing is. They just talking about they provide houses for people to live in. You know what I'm saying? They just give us houses because they want people to live. But then you look at what they really doing and they say assigned usage of houses or buildings collectively for the purpose of sheltering people, the planning or provision delivered by an authority with related meanings. Let's go into this, y'all, please, for a second, because this shit, okay. For houses, buildings, collectively, for the purpose of sheltering people, the planning or provision delivered by an authority with related meanings, ensuring that members of society have a home in which to live, whether this is a house, the hell they say a house is. Real quick, my bad. I don't let them. A house is a single unit residential building and may range in complexity from a rudimentary hut to a complex structure. And by the way, they got this from the Hopis. They got this from the Hopi tribe. I just read and learned about that, and I'm gonna do a lecture on them too. And every other goddamn thing that I learned that I feel I can do. But anyway, a complex structure of wood, masonry, concrete, other materials, outfitted with plumbing, electrical, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so we know what they saying the house is, typical. Some other kind of dwelling, lodging, shelter is a social issue. Many governments have one or more housing authorities, sometimes called a housing ministry or housing department. You see? Never are you gonna read this shit and not get to something diabolical. We started out with housing. We like, oh yeah, it's just housing. All they doing is just giving people houses, right? Housing authority. What is that? Let's check this out, right? The diabolicalness never end. What is a housing authority? Generally a governmental body that governs aspects of housing, or often providing low rent or free apartments to qualified residents. Now I thought being a human qualified you. So you mean to tell me there's more than, okay. You see what I'm saying? Qualified residents. The existence of government agencies specifically concerned with ensuring that housing is available to people living in, hold up y'all, bear with me. I mean, if y'all here with me all this time, y'all here with me, so I appreciate y'all reflections. I'm learning too, because I didn't actually go into none of this. That governs aspect of housing, shelter, living spaces, providing low for qualified residents. The existence of government agencies specifically concerned with ensuring that housing is available to people living in the country is a comparatively modern development, with the first such agencies being established in U.S. cities in the 1930s at the height of the Great Depression. And you see how all this stuff come together? When you start learning and you follow the breadcrumbs, you just learn. Then you will go into the Great Depression. I'm not going to do this, but I just wanted to show you. So if you're a person who just got on here to look at human settlements, then you get to housing, then you get to Great Depression. You're like, hold up, what's that? It was a severe worldwide economic depression that took place mostly during the 1930s. You know what I'm saying? Now you could click on this and go further into it, and then you will find out even more, but we're not going to do that. Let's go back. I just wanted to go into the housing authority to make the point of the fact that when they say this benevolent statement here of, we just want to make sure that ensuring that members of society have a home in which to live. But we just read that this is governed by this. And this has qualifications. Now, why do you have qualifications when all you want to do is make sure these people live, right? Because if you read this and you just take it at face value, you're like, bro, what are you talking about? There's people that would, my bad, I'm going to jump right back to that, but I want to tell y'all this, and I want y'all to see me when I tell y'all this. People will argue me down like, you trying to say human settlements is bad. Bro, they're just trying to provide housing for people, and they're just trying to, but until you look into what governs who they're providing the housing to, you really can't identify the true intention and the true nature of what's going on. But once you see all of this, you understand this is not about shelter and housing. This is about control. Anytime you're qualifying somebody, you are controlling them. To qualify is to judge, and to judge is to control, right? This is how this works. By the housing department, right? Let's see if there's anything else in here that we can learn from. Because they just be everywhere with this. Look at this. Previous research has shown that the housing price, we ain't going to go into that. But see, I'm pretty sure if we went into this, they talking about housing prices and stuff, branch of economic development, you know what I'm saying? See, now they step on their own toes. Now they step on their own toes and they start telling you how it ain't really about housing you. And it's about making sure that you are a productive member of the human settlement. You understand? Boy. All right, let's go back. My bad. All right, let's go back. Where was we at, yo? You see how this just get... All right, so we was at cities, right? And we went through all of that we did just from this word right here. Just from this word right here. Reflections. Transportation. This is why I say this shit it would take forever to go over this shit. You know what I'm saying? So we found out that housing, what that really is, what the purpose of it is, what the intent of that is, right? Let's see, transportation. Transportation, look at how they talk, y'all. Listen to how they talk. Transportation is the movement of humans, animals, and goods from one location to another. This shit don't feel like a zoo to you? This human settlement? In other words, the action of transport is defined as a particular movement of an organism or thing from A to B. This is what they look at you as. Do you think you were worded this way? If you, let's say you trying to look out for your homeboy, he got family, you get some land for him, you know what I'm saying? You get some land for him, you get a little town for him, so him and his family. If somebody asks you what's transportation, you think you gonna word it, oh, it's the movement of humans, animals, and goods from one. Look at that. They objectifying you. You cattle. That's what this whole thing is about. Understanding what you are to them. You know what I'm saying? Sanitation. What is that? My bad, y'all. I really didn't even want to do this and like go through every single thing, because I know it's like, all right, bro, you're going to go through every one. But like, yes, G. Like, look at this shit. Sanitation refers to public health conditions related to clean drinking water and treatment and disposal of human excrete or excreta, which basically means shit, and sewage. Preventing human contact with feces is a part of sanitation, as is hand washing with soap. Sanitation systems aim to protect human health. Let me see. Hold up, y'all, because they making it out like this something good. Ain't nothing they do good. Ain't nothing they do good. Hear me out. Sewage, preventing human contact with feces is a part of sanitation, as is hand washing with soap. Sanitation systems aim to protect human health by providing a clean environment that will stop transmission of disease, especially through fecal oral route. Fecal oral route, what they mean, getting in your food? Describes a particular route of transmission of disease wherein pathogens and fecal matter pass to the mouth. Okay, so yeah, eating shit. Alright, so look. You see how they do this shit, man? They always convolute shit so you like, huh? Nigga. Anyway, alright. For example, diarrhea, blah, 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 blah. Okay, there's something here. Hold on. There are many other diseases which are transmitted in communities that have low levels of sanitation, such as blah, blah, blah. To just to name a few. A range of sanitation technologies exist. Some examples are community-led. Okay, a range of sanitation technologies and approaches exist. Some examples are community-led total sanitation, right? What's that, right? Community-led total sanitation is an approach used mainly in developing countries to improve sanitation and hygiene practices in a community. The approach tries to achieve behavior change in mainly rural people by process of triggering. Listen to me. Listen to me. Now I told y'all, it's always something. It's always something when you look. When you look. It come off as peace. Hey, we trying to help you. It's always trying to help you. Read between the lines of this shit. An approach used mainly in developing countries to improve sanitation and hygiene practices in a community. The approach tries to achieve, look at this, behavior change. Behavior change. That's what you want to focus on, behavior change in mainly rural people by process of triggering, leading to spontaneous and long-term event. What they saying? I don't want to go no further, but just peek this out. This is a form of changing whatever they're doing when they get there. This is all about archaeology, paleontology, like all these big words they got. Philology, all of these things just mean to go there and to change shit. Because the people who was there already had something in place before you got there. That's what you gotta understand. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't wanna, listen. I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't even want to keep, you know what I'm saying? But I just recommend that the reason I wanted all the people from the hood, the ghettos, people that think, that's from the urban areas, you know what I mean? I want you to understand that your environment is nothing more than a zoo. Your environment is nothing more than a zoo. And if you think anything otherwise, tell them, because they don't know. If you think that you don't live in a zoo, tell them. A city is a large human settlement. And a human settlement is what? Statistics, collection of data, study of human activity. That's what a city is. Not oh, I'm from Baltimore, I'm from Houston, yeah, nah. You are in a project that is for the study of human behavior. This is what billionaires do when they got enough money to wipe their ass with $10 million when they wake up and not even know that they did it. Okay? I could go on, to be honest with you. I really could. But I really feel like I don't want to make the live too long because I want people to actually watch it. A lot of people is not going, they're going to be like, man, I got, you know what I'm saying? I want to eat some sausages. I got, you know what I'm saying? I want to go catch the game. I want, you know what I'm saying? You know, everybody got stuff to do. Ain't nobody got time to figure out how we in a zoo. Don't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that, to figure out how every block that we on was planned and they studying us. You know what I'm saying? When you know this, when you hear that birds is not real, It don't make sense. I mean, it don't seem weird to you when you know about this. Because a lot of people would say, well, no, they just sent those birds overseas to study the enemies for war. They was just using that as a war tactic, God. That's warfare. That's just warfare, reflection. Or they not going to call me reflection, because anybody that call me God or reflection probably know this shit already. But they going to be like, yo, my nigga, they just sent birds over there because they were studying them for war, but that don't mean the birds in our neighborhood's fake. But why would they not put fake birds in an area that they trying to gather statistics and study human activity? Why would you not put fake birds in the area you doing that? That's stupid. Agreed that not all birds are fake. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that you said that, because I guess I should take into account that there's some people who may be watching it who don't. Okay. All birds are not fake, okay? But there's documentation and there's proof that you can find to show you that there are many species of birds that are drones that have actually been used by the US as governmental warfare and sent over to other countries to spy on them and gather intel. Now, the purpose of them doing that is to study their enemy, right? So if the purpose of doing that is to study, and the purpose of a human settlement is to study, then why the hell would they not put birds in your community? And they studied your whole community before they put you there. This is what this is telling you. For those who came in late, we went over this already. But this means basically, they put it in a whole bunch of big ass words, but they basically mean study the environment so that they can be prepared for the occurrence of events. So if they study the environment and they know it's going to be boulders, or they know it's going to be fucking, earthquakes, or they know it's going to be, snowstorms or hurricanes, blizzards, they study it and they build it for you because it's a built environment. Did I already go over that with y'all? Did I show y'all that? Hold on. I don't know if I showed y'all that word built environment. My bad, reflections, if I did, and I'm showing this again. But let me show y'all where they actually use the term built environment. Matter of fact, hold on. If I don't find it in the next 30 seconds, I know where to find it. But I just want to see, hold on. Urbanized area. I think it might have been under urbanized area. Hold on. And look, let's look at this, right? So they even tell you when you go in the urbanized area, urban areas are created through urbanization, right? And an urban area is just a human settlement with a high population. So urbanization, when we go into urbanization, and I'm only continuing because I saw somebody comment saying go on, and I'm not about to stop if anybody is willing to listen. I don't care if it's two people, because this shit touched my soul. I'd rather talk about this. It's people sitting around talking about the game, talking about, yo, you seen when Kolusky got that dunk? Yo, you seen when Jones got that throw? Blah, blah, blah. They sit all day and talk about numbers and statistics. So let's sit all day and talk about shit that matter. Let's talk about stuff that's going to touch our soul, where we could go outside and look around and be like, yo, what the fuck is this that we living in? This is what we mean when we say we live in a matrix. This is what we mean. My bad, I got sidetracked. Urbanization, right? Urbanization refers to the population shift from rural to urban areas, the corresponding decrease in the proportion of people living in rural areas, and the ways in which societies adapt to this change, right? So what that basically mean is when they shift human settlements. So they might have got enough study. They might have got enough study in this city, but they need more study in this suburb, or they need more study in this town. So they shift all of the people. And that's actually called re-urbanization, to be honest with you. But urbanization is the first process of that, where they shift everybody into that city. And then re-urbanization is when they move you again. But every one of these links is a diabolical fucking scheme. Anthropology. Oh my goodness. What's anthropology? Let's see what that is. Is a subset of anthropology concerned with issues of urbanization, poverty, urban space, social relations, and neoliberalism, right? Let's go into this real quick. First of all, let's see what anthropology is. Anthropology is the scientific study of humanity concerned with human behavior, human biology, cultures, societies, linguistics, and linguistics, in both present and past, including past human species. Anthropology. Now tell me this don't sound diabolical. You study in human biology through an urban environment or human settlement. How do you study human biology through a city? How do you do that? You have to implement things like what you call them? Clinics, hospitals. That's how you study human biology through urban environments. That's what this is. But let's see what they say. Urban anthropology is a subset of anthropology concerned with issues of urbanization. Oh, we read that. My apologies, y'all. I don't want to double up on stuff and waste our energy. All right. So here they just saying a quote remark, the traditional notorious. What is this? Agoraphobic. I ain't never heard of that. Hold on. Agoraphobia is a mental and behavioral disorder, specifically an anxiety disorder characterized by symptoms of anxiety and situations where the person perceives the environment to be unsafe with no easy way to escape. Oh, that's deep. Now, how are they using that? How are they using this word? Hold on. Quotes a 1960s remark that traditional anthropologists were a notoriously... Okay. So they were notoriously described as this. Anxiety disorder characterized by symptoms of anxiety in situations where the person perceives the environment to be unsafe. So basically they saying that this person said that anthropologists are notoriously people who perceive their environment to be unsafe with no easy way to escape. That's the basic, way to break down this convoluted shit that they said. And anti-urban by definition. Anti-urban by definition. So what they're doing is, if you notice what they're doing with this, is making it out like anthropologists. They're trying to create a separation between this and human settlements. They're trying to make it out like these are the good guys. You see terms they're using? Anti-urban. This agoraphobic, whatever that shit means. It just basically means that you think that your area is unsafe. So they saying, oh, anthropologists, and look, who is this dude? He's the dude that said that. Basically to throw people off of what these anthropologists are really doing. He's a damn shut up. You gonna tell me you don't ask the slave master if he's your slave? Shut your mouth. Let's go fast. We ain't gonna waste our time being lied to. Urban anthropology is heavily influenced by sociology, right? Urban anthropology is heavily influenced by sociology. What is sociology? I wonder. I bet you any amount of money is diabolical. How I know that? Sociology, because everything is, that's how. Sociology is a social science that focuses on society, human social behavior, patterns of social relationships, Listen. The message to get from this is that you are being studied. You are being studied. You are being studied. The blue lights on the corners in the city that I grew up in Baltimore, the blue lights on those corners are not for your safety. You live in a human settlement. Why would they give a shit about protecting you? In fact, it's just more data for you to die. Because it's a statistic that they can study and find out why you guys killed each other. And find out how people reacted to you dying. It's all a social study. You see? You have no reason to believe that they have your best interest at heart. You have no reason to believe that. No reason. So when I say I want the people who identify as gangsters, street niggas, hood niggas, ghetto niggas, project niggas to watch this video. This is why. This is why. Because this show you who the ops is. You think your mans, you think the niggas you beefing with up the block can do this to you? You think the niggas up the street can do this to you? Move you, shift you from a rural to an urban area. Like that. Like that. But that's who you want to beef with. And that's who you believe your enemy is. Who told you that? And who seeks to gain from that? Brothers, sisters, family? Who seeks to gain from that? Why would they want you to think that I am your enemy when you and I both live on a settlement that they built and created for the purpose of studying you? So, anthropology. Look at this. Look at this. A picture is worth how many words, y'all? A picture is worth how many words, y'all? Look at what they chose to use as the image for what anthropology is. Hold up. Let me see what So when you see these words, you know what I'm saying? When you see these words, you gotta click on them. When you go to, I would recommend that everybody, when you go to Wikipedia, and don't let nobody tell you don't go to Wikipedia. Don't let nobody get you with that bullshit. Yo, don't go to Wikipedia. That's for anybody. Anytime somebody telling you stay away from something, go to it. Even if it's just to find out for yourself that it's wrong. But Wikipedia has a section called, let me show you. See this? Sources, external links. If you are in doubt, references. If you are in doubt of the information you are learning, go here. Find the sources. Let's see what some of the sources are. Find the sources. What's the sources? They'll show you the books that they got them from, which is probably the alternate source that you talking about when you telling niggas don't go to Wikipedia. You telling people don't go to Wikipedia, get a book. Oh, you mean this one? Oh, you mean this one? Oh, you mean Oxford's one? You mean the ones that they put in Wikipedia, you moron? Don't listen to people telling you that foolishness. They trying to keep you from having an easy way to figure this shit out. Because Wikipedia, honestly, I'm quite shocked and surprised that they didn't kill the nigga who made Wikipedia. I looked them up today. I actually looked them up earlier. And I'm surprised they even let him do that. Because this is dangerous. You hear me? It's a lot of information on here, Reflections. It's a lot of information. You know what I'm saying? You can find a lot. And, yeah, like, let's look at some of these other words, man. It's all of this stuff. Look at all of these words, man. All of these are nothing but diabolicism. All of these are nothing but diabolical ways to study human beings and do fuck up shit to them. Look, what is this? Social behavior. Let's see what that is. We already looked at social science, right? A branch of science devoted to the study of societies and relationships among individuals within those societies. Why would you even want to do... Bro, why would you even want to do that? Why do you want to study societies and all the individuals in them and the relationships they have with them? Tell me that ain't some autocratic shit, some autocracy shit, some dictatorship shit. There's nothing democratic about that. For the people who believe in the government, for the people who believe that you are an African American, right, which is a descendant of Scipio Africanus and Amerigo Vespuccio, which are both from Rome. So at the end of the day, when you know these things, right, it makes it easier for you to understand why it's clinics set up in your area where they sticking you with stuff. It makes it easier to understand why they want to give you a disease. because giving you a disease is good for studying. What they give lab rat? They give lab rats diseases. Somebody said click on social change. Of course, let's do that. Social change, right? Involves alteration of the social order of. You see that shit? You see that? Involves alteration of the social order of society. Bro, it may include changes in social institutions, social behaviors, or social relations. This is diabolical. This is evil. This is some shit out of a movie. Y'all feel me when I laugh. The clown represents a frequency, a neutralizing frequency. You feel me? It's meant to neutralize emotion. And this is what they do to us, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they do. And we just like sit and let it happen, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. At this point, this ain't even on no God and shit or nothing like that, bro. Like, even beyond that, even when I was asleep, this is what they do to us. And I ain't even get through it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, like, think of how many people they did this to, yo. We sitting on top of them right now. You know what I'm saying? Our ancestors, man. Like, you know, and everybody just getting smoothies and shit and chilling. Like, how you live with yourself, man. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yo, my bad reflection. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, all right, let's move on. Social policy, right? A social policy is a plan or action of government or institutional agencies which aim to improve. Fuck improve. You know they don't give a shit about improving. If they wanted to improve, they would have worked with you instead of killing you when they got there. That's bullshit. They want to reform society. They want to reform society. This is what all of this is about. You know? So I say this for my people. I say this for my people who think that normal's coming back. Who think that there's a such thing as normal. You think, let's look up what normal is. Let's look up what the fuck normal is, right? Since you people believe in this shit so much. What is normal? What is the definition of normal? Let's see if they put that in here. You bastards. They be wildin', bro. I'm good, man. I'm good, Reflections. Don't listen. I'm good, Reflections. I'm good. I love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Conforming. Now, how many people think conforming when they say normal? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this ain't even what I had up. Hold on. Was this what I had up? I think it was. So you know what I'm saying? I say this to say, I mean, what is this? Look, let's just, where was we at, bro? Like, what is an urban sprawl? There's so many things. Yo, what is this? Like, I don't even fucking want, urban sprawl is defined as the spreading of urban developments on undeveloped land near a city. Urban sprawl has been described as the unrestricted growth in many urban areas of housing, commercial development. Did that hit y'all the way it hit me? Urban sprawl? Urban sprawl sound like a free fall for land. It sound like a land free fall. That's what it sound like. That's what it sound like to me. You gotta read between the lines. The spreading of urban developments, such as housing, shopping centers, on undeveloped land near a city. And then it said urban sprawl has been described as the unrestricted. You have to know what this means. That means by any means necessaries. By any means necessary. Alright? Yeah, I see we got a bot in here, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it goes, man. Yeah, I went ahead and blocked them. But listen. And if any more come in, let me know, because I don't want these motherfuckers on my page, man. You know what I'm saying? They don't belong in here. But, you know, you gotta understand this, man. You gotta understand. I lost where I was. The unrestricted growth in many urban areas. So you gotta understand that an urban sprawl would be something that would be ordered, or something that would be allowed to happen by a higher authority. And when they say unrestricted, this means by any means necessary. This means a governor, maybe, it's probably going to be a lot higher than a governor, be honest with you. But the governor will probably be the one who's sent to carry out the order. And it means by any means necessary, we need that land over there. And it's a sprawl. Let's see what the word sprawl means. You see, because I don't know this shit, y'all. This shit is new to me. This is why I, you know what I'm saying? I don't know this. This is why we here to actually learn. You know what I'm saying? Like, and remind ourselves of what a sprawl. Sit, lie, or fall with one's arms and legs spread out. What? In an ungainly or awkward way. What? Hold on. Let's click on it, because maybe there's different parts of, sometimes there's different parts of speech and it means different things, right? An ungainly or carelessly relaxed position in which one's arms. Okay, so look, this where it says which one's arms and legs are spread out, you have to disassociate that from the definition, because that is not the subject matter we're discussing. Pay attention to the first. We're talking about human settlements. An ungainly or careless, relaxed position. Okay? What that means essentially is that they are going on this sprawl in a careless manner, essentially. It just means by any means necessary with no restrictions on growth. Meaning if niggas is there and they ain't trying to move them. If niggas is there and they talking about, this is my grandma's house, this is my great-grand, move them. So for all the gangsters, all the G's, all the people that's like, shit, this is my hood, I don't care, I ain't worried about no motherfucker, I ain't worried about this, all of that. This is what they do. They gonna come to your block, and then what? Then now it's not your block no more, right? Urban planning. Urban planning, also known as regional planning, town planning, city planning, rural planning. It should be called human settlement planning, nigga, because an urban is just a version of a human settlement. Like, you know what I'm saying? What are you using this word for? Just say, see, the reason they using this word is because we know this refers to the gods and goddesses. You know what I'm saying? We know this refers to, black people, if you want to call it that, right? Or not even about black people, those that are, disparaged. It refers to those that are on the lesser end of the totem pole, because we'll never be royal, right? So, is a technical and political process that is focused on the development and design of land use and the built land use in the built environment. See? You see? There they go with that. There they go with that again. And that's what I was looking for. See, they don't make it a link right here. But built environment you can click on. Matter of fact, I'm about to pull it up. Because I wanted to show it to y'all before, but I got sidetracked. I remember when I was looking for that. What is a built environment? In urban planning, which is where we were before, architecture, and civil engineering, the term built environment or built world That makes you think even bigger. Built world refers to the human-made environment. They don't even hide this shit, bro. They don't even hide this shit. Refers to the human-made environment that provides the setting for human activity. You see this shit? Built environment. Now, what's architecture, right? Because they always make these big convoluted words, but like we say, we know this is some diabolical shit. Everything is some diabolical shit put into terms that you can't really foresee that way. Because if you learned about it in school, you would have thought anthropology was something good, but we went through anthropology earlier. And that shit crushed my heart and my soul reading that. But let's see what architecture is. This might not be. Let's see. You can find the bad in all of it. Architecture is both the process and a product of planning, designing, and constructing buildings or other structures. Architectural works in the material form of buildings are often perceived as cultural symbols and as work of art. It never, nah. There ain't no benevolence. Nah, keep reading. Architectural works, in the form of buildings often perceived as cultural symbols. Okay. Historical civilizations are often identified with the surviving architectural achievements. Right? That's basically saying, okay, let's read on. The practice was began in the, okay, so the practice began in the prehistoric era. See, this is where, okay, so let me say this because this one made peace reflection to Princess, peace reflection. Yeah, she said that's just building. Yeah. So I was going to say this one, the diabolicism of it is not going to be like right there, but this helps you recognize intent, right? Because they say this practice began in the prehistoric era. And this is what I meant when I said also breadcrumbs. You see how much stuff you'll get to just by us talking about human settlements and going through them and everything? We about to get into the prehistoric era. You know what I'm saying? Which will tell you about a period of human history between the use of stone to they talking about the Stone Age, and most of that's bullshit anyway. Let's hold on. We don't want to go into that. But it would take you into that. What is this? Vitruvius? Oh, that's that Roman. Yeah, that's that guy that was around when Caesar was around. I read about him when I was reading about Caesar. All right, so this is not that bad. Let's go back. You know what I'm saying? It is that bad because we know whether something is bad or good, and there's no such thing as good or bad, but we more so are judging intent. We know that when they say architecture, those of us who are really tapped in, we know what they mean. Sacred geometry. You know what I'm saying? We know there's more to this. This is not just building buildings. But I don't want to go back and forth and go into all of that, so I'm going to just leave that alone. But there's a science behind this as well. There's a reason for this. None of this is just to help people. That's a farce. Urban planning, public health, sociology, and anthropology, right? And we already looked up the fact that anthropology is just, another diabolical thing. Just for those who may not have seen it, what is anthropology? The scientific study of humanity concerned with human behavior, human biology, culture, society. Right. Just here, you can see. They use human settlements to do this. And they also send anthropologists to places after they wipe them out. Or after that, all of the people mysteriously disappear that are there. You know what I'm saying? And they send them ahead of time, sometimes before they are planning to do that. Right? They send them for linguistics so that they can learn the language of the people that are there before they wipe them out, and they can gather information and all of that. This is some diabolical shit. This is not what you think it is. It's not what they say it is, right? This is taking a lot of energy out of me, y'all. I just want to show y'all one more thing real quick, right? Right? Because this is some Dr. Phil. You know Dr. Phil? Philology, right? Look up philology. Dr. Phil, right? What is philology? Right, Avatar. Life's Bloom.s said Avatar. Exactly. That okay. Look, philology is the study of language in oral or written historical sources, right? It is the intersection of textual criticism, literary criticism, history, in linguistics, with especially strong ties to etymology. Philology is more commonly defined as the study of literary texts, as well as oral and written records, the establishment of their authenticity and their original form, and the determination of their meaning. A person who pursues this kind of study is known as a philologist, right? Now, how do you think, okay, now this is where you got to use your third eye, right? Because when you just looking at this, it's like, oh, it's philology, whatever. It's just a brief description. How do you think that you would study literal texts, written records, and determine their authenticity? This is where all of this stuff come in together. And this is what Dr. Phil is doing, by the way. This is what his show is doing. He's a part of human settlement, but it's more like a virtual human settlement of them studying society in general, which there's probably some other diabolical ass word for that I just have not come across yet. But in order to study the authenticity of their original form and determine the meaning and all of that, you would have to do things like send archaeologists. You would have to do things like take their shit, like go to Egypt and take everything to determine and establish its authenticity. Yo, take a second and think to yourself. Take a second and think to yourself. How do you go to somewhere that you're not from because you want to determine the authenticity of that thing? You see how diabolical this is? That's like somebody coming in my house like, hey, look, I want to see if you and your daughter really, really related. Like, what? What are you talking about? Why wouldn't you ask the people? This is what I think about when they do this shit and they say all of these words: archaeology, paleontology, fucking philology. Like, there's a bunch of ologies, anthropology. There's a bunch of them. Why wouldn't you ask the people that was there? They might have known about the artifacts. This is where you can see the true intent. And this is why it's important for us to know this. And then they got these little keywords in there. European studies, right? Philology is for European studies. You know what I mean? That's this whole thing. Linguistics and all of that, which is just the languages. And look, they even tell you that they did it with all of these. You know what I'm saying? With all of these people. You know what I'm saying? This is how they know this. Through philology. See, this is how they tell on themselves. This is how they tell on themselves. You see, they tell you that they applied philology in these places. But what did they do to these places? Ancient Mesopotamia? You do your history on ancient Mesopotamia. I'll do a live on it if people would like. The Persians. I mean, like that whole area. Not the Persians. See, you gotta this is why you gotta know this stuff. You gotta understand that when they say Persian, a Persian is they're talking about, they're just describing the people that were in that area. So like, even when they say the Aztecs, that's what they called them because of the land that they were with right there. They came up with their own names, particularly the Spaniards, because somebody said a whole lot of rape and a whole lot of pillaging. Yeah, reflection. A whole lot of that reflection. And this is what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? So the purpose of doing this live was for us to come together. Yes, reading is definitely fundamental. And I wonder what they definition of fundamental is. I don't even want to look. Because everything got something diabolical behind it. Because when you're in school, you just listen to it and you just be like, all right. In school, they told you that archaeology is just the study of behavior and artifacts. But they didn't go into detail about the fact that the artifacts that they studying was from people who they killed before they got there. They didn't go into you know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't send archaeologists to my house to find out how I'm living, bro. Don't send archaeologists to my house to find out how I'm living. Come holler at me and ask me. What are you talking about? That sounds like a dictator's mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would you even do that? This stuff that, like, these people have conquered, they have a mindset of conquering. You know what I'm saying? And it's written right in front of you in every way you could possibly look at it. Like, nothing is for your betterment. You know what I'm saying? They got this word here. I just wondered, y'all, real quick what this meant. Synchronous. It says synchronic analysis. What is synchronic analysis? I just wonder, yo, because it just seemed like some fucking crazy shit. Synchrony and diachrony are two complementary viewpoints, meaning they basically the fucking same or they complement each other. Viewpoints in linguistic analysis. A synchronic approach considers a language at a moment in time without taking its history into account. Synchronic linguistics aims at describing a language at a specific point of time. So what this is, we could go deeper into this. You right, Life's Bloom. We could go deeper into this, but just know that this is how they cover up. And see, all of these things are cover-ups. You know, you can't say, yo, we be gonna go fuck people up and take their shit from them. You can't say that. You have to say archaeologists, paleontologists, you know, the study of blah, 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 motherfucking blah, right? So this right here, this is the study of the language of people who either are or are not there. So what you think they do if the people's still there? You think they just pack their shit up and leave and be like, dang, we would have studied the language, but the people are here and they don't want us to study it, so we'll just go home. We'll go back to, you know, England. We'll go back to Rome. You know, we'll just chill. No. That's not what happens. Avatar is what happens. Oh shit, that's so deep. Yes, in Avatar, they sent the military in to just fuck them up after they realized that they couldn't get them to... So look, y'all. Like I said, man, I wanted to go over this because it touched my soul when I came into this. And I don't even know, you know, I just want to show this one more time, y'all. I know we've seen this, but I just want to show this one more time. For the people who don't believe that we live in a matrix, I just want to show this one more time. Built environment. In urban planning, architecture, and civil engineering. They even got built word as a comparable term, which shows you that they think on a massive scale. New World Order. They show you this. Like, you just got to piece it together yourself. You know what I'm saying? Refers to human-made environments. Bro, human-made environments. You know what I'm saying? Includes changes to biophysical environments and to ecosystems. Oh my God, bro. That's what they doing to the Amazon right now. They're trying to make it a human-made environment. I'm not doing no more. Listen. Peace and love to everybody who caught this live. Anybody who watched this, if you don't get, after watching this, that we live in a matrix and everything is under control. Not because I said it, not because a bunch of people posting it and sharing it. Because they said it. That's why. Don't come to me talking about, yo, why you said I live in a matrix. You go to them and you ask them why they said that you live in a matrix. I love y'all, man. One love, peace to everybody. I am going to save this live. I appreciate everybody who came through. we are joining right now just for the purpose of joining with our soul tribe and connecting with people, man. Because we about to go through some tough times, and a lot of people think that it's not gonna happen. They think, oh, everything's gonna go back to normal. You know, biodiversity. You know, so I want y'all to, if you know, I got more lectures that I want to do, you know, in the same fashion in which I do this one, which is just me sitting and talking. I don't know if it's supposed to be like I'm supposed to have a chalkboard and all that, but I'm not doing all of that. I'm not being no professor or no shit. I just be reading this shit and I be like, yo, this is insane. Like, it's stuff that I'm looking at now that I want to click on. Like, what is this, yo? Like, I could sit here all day. This is why I don't have time for other stuff. Like, when people like, yo, you want to do such and such, bro? It's a wealth of knowledge here. I don't have time for that, bro. I don't want to sit. I don't want to go to the movies, bro. I don't want to chill and hang out. Like, nah. This is a fraction. This is a fraction of what we don't know in front of us. You know what I'm saying? A fraction. And I got a whole bunch more. You know what I'm saying? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this shit. Listen. Divine. Y'all see, I didn't scroll enough and I just hit the back button. Look at this. The UN publishes data on cities, urban areas, and rural areas, but relies almost entirely on national definitions of these areas. Fuck all the rest of that. The UN publishes data on cities. And we know cities is what? Class. It's like, nah, human settlements. So forget all of that. Don't pay attention to that. They block you out with that stuff. The UN publishes data on human settlements. You feel me? I see something that say urban core. I don't even want to click on it. Metropolitan urban satellite. I don't even want to click on it. Just know, like, one love to y'all, man. Go on there. Anytime you think about something and you just want to know about it, don't just think like you gotta understand that they think, and when I say these people, I mean the elites. They think on a different level. So something to us that's so simple and basic is not for them. Think about how many words we went over and how many things we clicked on and we saw the most diabolical shit look like it's out of a horror movie, but we could have used it casually amongst each other like nothing. Like, oh yeah, yo, the houses, they got housing program. Ha ha ha. Oh, yo, they just, they zoning. Ha ha ha. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what is that? What does that mean? You know what I'm saying? Anybody that joined late, please go back and listen. Please. Please. I love y'all reflections. Please, peace and love. Remember to be positive, optimistic. Keep positive people in y'all circle. I'll see y'all in the next lecture or the next live. Anytime y'all see me live, please hop in, jump in, chop it up with me. Do whatever you need to do. DM me, hit me if y'all ever want to talk about anything. Anybody in here is my brother or sister unless you are op. And if you don't agree with what we just read, you probably a op. If not, you my brother or you my sister until you say otherwise. You have to tell me otherwise. 338KY, you my brother or sister. God and Goddess. Ashley House of Braids. Chulo SZN is actually my real brother. that's actually my blood brother. But, you know, and when I say real, I mean in this reality that we live in. You know what I'm saying? Life Bloom, you my brother. I mean, you my goddess. I'm not sure if that's a female or not, but listen, all of y'all, my point that I'm getting across to you is y'all my brothers and my sisters. Don't be on no shit like, I don't want to DM him because I don't, would you not DM your brother? Don't treat me like that. I'm no different than you. We family. I don't have no family. So y'all are my family. I don't have a mother to go to, a cousin to go to, an uncle to go to, a father to go to. Well, I never had a father, but now I don't have a mother, uncle, cousins, aunties. I don't have none of that. So y'all gotta feel me when I say y'all my family. It bothers me when people just say that. You know what I'm saying? They just say it all willy-nilly. Like, I mean that when I say that, man. I love y'all. That's real, man. One love.